Shark Tale.
As long as anyone could remember, Lenny was a different kind of shark.
I don't know how else to say this to you, Lenny. You see something, you eat it, period. That's what sharks do. You gotta understand, when you look weak, it makes me look...
Released on 2004. Produced by DreamWorks Animation and distributed by DreamWorks Pictures.
He trips underwater. Who? Trips underwater. And by the way...
Directed by Vicky Jensen, Bibbo Bergeron, and Rob Letterman. Underachiever Oscar is a pint-sized fish with grand aspirations. When mob-connected great white shark Frankie is accidentally killed.
Oh no!
Then, the little fish told a great white lie.
Oscar concocts a story with Frankie's peace-loving brother Lenny that it was he who murdered the shark. Suddenly hailed Sharkslayer by his aquatic brethren, Oscar has bigger fish to fry when Frankie's father, mob boss Don Lino, dispatches his henchmen to track down his son's killer.
Now snap your fin right on the... Snap it! You're not snapping it!
Oscar!
Oh, hey, don't sweat it. A lot of white fish can't do it.
You can watch this comedy movie on Netflix. Despicable Me. Released on 2010. The film was directed by Chris Renaud and Pierre Coffin. The film stars the voices of Steve Carell, Jason Segel, Russell Brand, Miranda Cosgrove, Kristen Wiig, Will Arnett, and Julie Andrews.
He has to outsmart a ruthless archenemy.
He Shrink-Ray.
Supervillain Grua, a man who delights in all things wicked, hatches a plan to steal the moon. Surrounded by an army of little yellow minions and his impenetrable arsenal of weapons and war machines, Grua prepares to vanquish all who stand in his way.
This summer, just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
3 little kittens started to yawn.
Now make them drink the milk.
However, nothing in his calculations and groundwork has prepared him for his greatest challenge, 3 adorable orphan girls who want to make him their dad. Right now you can watch Despicable Me on Netflix.
3D.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
The Simpsons Movie.
Run! Run! Jump! Jump! Rest! Rest! Now, I know we've had a rough day, but I'm sure we can put all that behind us.
Released on 2007. Directed by the show's supervising director David Silverman. With the show's regular cast of Dan Castellaneta, Julie Kavner, Nancy Cartwright, Yardley Smith, Hank Azaria, Harry Shearer, Tress MacNeil.
And a family will fall.
It was you!
We want Homer! We want Homer! The word apology.
The combination of Homer, his new pet pig, and a leaky silo full of excrement triggers a disaster that threatens not just Springfield but the entire world. An angry mob descends on the Simpson home, splitting the family.
Clan.
And the fate of the world hangs in the balance.
With Earth's fate in the balance, Homer sets out on a quest for redemption in order to save the world and earn Marge's forgiveness. You can watch it on Hulu, ESPN, or Disney+. Monster House. It was released on 2006. Directed by Gil Keenan. The film features the voices of Mitchell Musso, Sam Lerner, Spencer Locke, Steve Buscemi, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Kevin James, Nick Cannon, Jason Lee, Fred Willard, John Heder, Catherine O'Hara.
When no one will listen.
Don't go any further!
Are you guys mentally challenged? If you are, I'm certified to teach you baseball.
When no one believes.
3 teenagers discover that their neighbor's house is actually a monster that hates children. With Halloween approaching, the trio must find a way to destroy the structure before innocent trick-or-treaters meet ghastly ends.
Don't go on the lawn.
Don't look back! I look back!
This movie is available on Netflix. The Iron Giant.
What are we looking at here, Mr. Manley?
This is no meteor.
Released in 1999, American animated science fiction film produced by Warner Brothers Feature Animation and directed by Brad Bird. The film stars the voices of Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr., Vin Diesel, and James Gammon.
Invaders from Mars.
Hey there, Scout. Kent Mansley.
You work for the government.
In this animated adaptation of Ted Hughes' Cold War fable, a giant alien robot crash lands near the small town of Rockwell, Maine, in 1957. Exploring the area, a local 9-year-old boy, Hogarth, discovers the robot, and soon forms an unlikely friendship with him.
Nothing unusual, really.
When a paranoid government agent, Kent Mansley, becomes determined to destroy the robot, Hogarth, and beatnik Dean McCoppin must do what they can to save the misunderstood machine.
My son is out there!
We've got to help him!
Hogarth, no! I'm swimming!
Giant?
Oh, God.
You are able to stream The Iron Giant by renting or purchasing on iTunes, Amazon Instant Video, and Vudu. A Bug's Life.
It's the same year after year. They come, they eat, they leave. That's our lot in life.
Released on 1998. Directed by John Lasseter and co-directed by Andrew Stanton. The film's cast is Dave Foley, David Hyde Pierce, Phyllis Diller.
It's not a lot, but it's our life.
We don't serve grasshoppers.
Squish them.
We can find bigger bugs to come here and fight.
What they needed was some help.
The film involves a misfit ant, Flick, who is looking for tough warriors to save his colony from a protection racket run by Hopper's gang of grasshoppers. Unfortunately, the warriors he brings back turn out to be an inept troop of circus bugs.
The bug? Shoo fly, don't bother me.
You can watch it on Disney+, Prime Video, Redbox, Vudu or Apple TV. Rango.
Welcome, amigo, to the land without end. The desert and death are the closest of friends.
Released on 2011. Directed by Gore Verbinski. The film stars the voices of Johnny Depp, Isla Fisher, Abigail Breslin, Ned Beatty, and Alfred Molina.
Oh, here she comes! You better run, Mojito!
What? I thought you said don't move.
That was before. Now, you run.
A chameleon who has lived as a sheltered family pet finds himself in the grip of an identity crisis. Rango wonders how to stand out when it is his nature to blend in. When he accidentally winds up in a frontier town called Dirt, he takes the first step on a transformational journey as the town's new sheriff.
Here in the Mojave Desert, animals have had millions of years to adapt to the harsh environment. But the lizard?
Though at first Rango only role plays, a series of thrilling situations and outrageous encounters forces him to become a real hero.
Ow!
You can watch it on Hulu, ESPN, or Disney+. Hotel Transylvania.
Beautiful maiden, with Daddy you will stay. And if a human tries to harm you, I'll simply say...
Released on 2012. It was directed by Jendy Tartakovsky. The film stars the voices of Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, Selena Gomez, Kevin James, and Fran Drescher. The series focused on the adventures surrounding monsters who reside in the titular Hotel Transylvania.
Imami? Wayne the Wolf?
Yeah, it's a mess back there.
And your Uncle Frank's dropping in too.
Dracula, who operates a high-end resort away from the human world, goes into overprotective mode when a boy discovers the resort and falls for the Count's daughter.
Oh, maybe it's the contact lenses.
The what?
Here, let me just try and get him out real quick.
Oh, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen!
Almost got it.
Shrek the Third.
Ah! You know, you really need to get yourself a pair of jammies.
Donkey! Oh, how you go? Some people just don't understand boundaries.
It was released on 2007. Directed by Chris Miller Ramunhue and co-directed by Ramunhue. The film features the voices of Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy.
Hey, how's it going?
When King Harold John Cleese of Far, Far Away dies, the clumsy Shrek Mike Myers becomes the immediate successor of the throne. However, Shrek decides to find the legitimate heir Artie Justin Timberlake in a distant kingdom with his friends Donkey Eddie Murphy and Puss in Boots Antonio Banderas to be able to return to his beloved house.
Ready? Okay!
The story continues. Will Shrek become the new king of Far, Far Away?
In the swamp with the pregnant Fiona Cameron Diaz. Meanwhile, the envious and ambitious Prince Charming Rupert Everett joins the villains of the fairy tales plotting a coup d'etat to become the new king.
I think that went pretty well.
This movie is available on Netflix. Ice Age. Released in 2002. It was directed by Chris Wedge. It features the voices of Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, Dennis Leary, Goran Visnjic, and Jack Black. 20,000 years ago, Earth is a wondrous, prehistoric world filled with great danger, not the least of which is the beginning of the Ice Age. To avoid a really bad frostbite, the planet's majestic creatures, and a few small, slothful ones, begin migrating south.
Help me.
The story revolves around Sub-Zero heroes, a woolly mammoth, a saber-toothed tiger, a sloth, and a prehistoric combination of a squirrel and rat that is known as Scrat.
Iceberg ahead!
You can watch Ice Age on Disney+.
Fine, I'm gonna die. Manny!
"35 years experience of best movie recommendations.